good, my anime people? What is good, yo? Sitting up near my PlayStation, so if you hear any like humming in the background, let me know. I'm trying to figure out what really causes it. So if I know that sitting next to my PlayStation does it, I will never do it again. But my anime people, we have ourselves a very, very bad and dark backstory for our boy Dororo. Well, our girl Dororo. And it's funny to me that Dororo supposedly has been trying to play this role of uh, she's just somebody who's out there, who's struggling like everyone else. She's not trying to, put on a front that she's a boy or that she, is anything but what she is. It's just there's so much on the line when it comes down to, um, her past relationship with her family, not to mention the relationship she's building right now with this boy who pretty much has turned into an older brother at this point. Um, the weird thing about this whole backstory is we were never conclusively given, the information that she is or that it was a girl from the parents. It was from the nun or from whoever. Oh yeah, it was definitely the nun. But from undressing her and making sure her fever and stuff wasn't going to continue, that was pretty much the way that they find out this even exists or that this is even a thing. And Dororo of course is freaking out about it, thinking that I'm guessing this is just an instance of she knows how it is for women in the world that she's been growing up in. She's seen the way her mom's lived, she's seen the way her dad's lived, and who was the one doing the most fighting when the mom was kind of just there to protect her. So she clearly has a good indication of, who's supposed to do what in a family or in a mother-father relationship. So it comes to no surprise that she wants to do both. She wants to just be strong like her father and loving like her mother. And when we see both of these things being implemented, we notice that, or she notices that there's been like a 3-day fever that's been brewing up on her, and not being able to walk, getting dizzy was really the couple of signs that she was given. And after passing out and almost fainting, our boy got her somewhere that she needed to be. But at the same time, they didn't have to do anything in this episode, and it was a good way to slow down the pace of the show, because for one, we just got quote unquote filler to some people, which kind of had me like, that seems relatively weird that the light novel, anything would implement a character who earns all of his body parts, but at the end of it doesn't wind up earning them all, or when he does earn them all, he gets like some of them quicker than others, or like he gets 2 for 1, or I don't know. But from what I was hearing from the people who had seen other versions of this, the last week's episode was a filler because he's never actually gotten his nose. Maybe even that monster was made up, and even those characters. So it was all just this anime exclusive. So to jump into this episode, where they've now had an action-packed episode where he gains something, they can either take their time to do a slower episode or not. And that's exactly what they did, which was a brilliant time to flesh out this man's backstory, or this girl's. I keep calling him a man because I hear Dororo, and I'm like, oh, that's probably a dude, and then that's me being ignorant. So it's all good. I just hope that whatever comes with this, you know, change of, our main character who's lost all his parts, he actually saw that there was a problem, and Dororo has been on authority to literally be left behind like she was afraid that it was going to happen again, you know. So this is an occurring thing with him just kind of leaving and doing his own thing once time probably passes a little bit and he wants to move on, but has no real way of expressing that. He just does it. So I wouldn't be surprised that he has almost left her a couple times on accident, or thought she was there and, you know, just didn't pay that much attention. Not sure, but really interested to see what you guys are feeling about this, because to be honest, with the backstory we get, it explains a lot of why this character has a chip on their shoulder, and it explains kind of just the overall nature of the life that she's been living in this whole time. So with all those things, we can only guess what the feelings and how she's coping with all this. We can only guess how she feels, you know. So to know that there's a whole dark side to both of these characters, it just shows that they perfectly found each other somehow, some way, and they can take care of each other now. The one thing that was concerning, though, that did progress the story and give us a little bit of indication of what we can expect to see next, is somehow some people from the father of the main, not even the main character, the guy who's, you know, had all of his limbs removed, someone has been spying around and has gotten some information that a baby with no limbs was saw floating across on a boat. And not only that, he then said that the people who pretty much lost their life and was the reason why Dororo even kind of questioned what the priest said and might have thought that the priest might have been right that was traveling with them, is whenever the demon comes out of the cave or the monster comes out of the cave, will it truly become a monster or look like a monster? And that is the people who somebody either experienced, like had lived out of that, which I doubt, but I think someone just had experienced what had happened and saw the people who were probably leaving in the grand scheme of things, which happened to be our character. So he reports that he saw a boy, like a man or boy, with who had prosthetics limbs, which lines up perfectly with somebody who is a baby and had no limbs at all and was sent across a river, you know. So not only did this baby live, it somehow is capable of slaughtering many soldiers that attacked the village, or that was even in war with people, and then they went and attacked some orphans and called themselves big, you know. So to see all this transpiring, and even that the son who is pretty much being looked down upon, you know, he heard the whole conversation that was being had, and because of that, I think it's going to play a big role for either us learning more about this character, that you know, he could change, he could help our main character that's out there with his prosthetics, but he could also try to hunt him down now that it sounds like it's a problem for his father, and by doing something that, you know, supposedly these soldiers left out and saw this carnage and didn't even kill the person that caused the carnage and came back, he could use that as, oh look, I could take out someone that could take out all those soldiers, you should let me fight. So I think the littlest brother is about to go on his own journey to look for Dororo and our demon slayer, but if so, I truly hope it's a good outcome, because I mean, he's already the main character, or like the prosthetic person, learned how to say body is hot. You know, he's learning so many words that he can pronounce and stuff. Not to mention, people still just ignore him and say some things that you can't even tell if he's recollecting or he's just going off of the general senses of them walking away, or them just kind of blowing him off after he asks a question. So I mean, that's not like it's never happened before. I'm pretty sure you've seen Dororo reaching out to people and then just walking by. So these are all different things he's experienced in his life, and he's just, you know, continuously reliving it with people who aren't giving him the benefit of the doubt or even the time of day, which then we've run into the nun, and yeah, they actually help him out. So the backstory of the dad pretty much becoming a person who made a gang and was only attacking samurais, became so strong and as strong as they could become till all of a sudden they weren't really allowed to do much more but fight samurais here and there because of how much power the samurais have naturally over the overall just world and influence and stuff like that. So it played a big role for one of his teammates portraying him and telling him that these people who are just got out of battle were tired and stuff like that, and with them literally being ready to ambush the dad, shot him in his knees like a whole bunch of times, end up not killing the guy, letting him live, and traveling around with his family. But at the end of the day, pretty much just goes to show us that it was gonna all end sooner or later because he hates samurai so much, and that he's carrying around the weapon that he took out so many samurais with. Getting spotted and someone recognizing just the weapon alone got him in trouble and literally takes his life because he kills one of them and then all of them get involved and he just can't take them all out. And then the mother ends up just dying from exhaustion and probably hunger and thirst. So just the worst way for a kid to lose his parents slowly and one by one. So I honestly feel for the kid, and I can't wait to see hopefully this kid get a better life, or at least see him happy for the rest of the time that this show is out. So with that being said, my anime people, I hope you have an amazing night, evening, day, whatever the case it is when you're watching this, and I will talk to you in the next one. Perfect. Peace.